All right, so you ready for this?
Ready for what?
A deep dive into a world of urban intrigue, steamy romance, all that good stuff. Today we're cracking open In Exchange, an urban thriller.
Oh, sounds exciting.
It does. Imagine being offered like a life-changing amount of money.
Okay, I'm listening. Who wouldn't be?
But there's a catch.
Uh-oh, there's always a catch.
It throws you right into a love triangle.
Ooh, juicy. So what are we working with here?
We've got excerpts from the Kindle edition on Amazon.
Okay, Amazon Kindle. Got it.
Everything from the book description to, customer reviews, all that.
All right, so we're going deep.
Yeah, we're going to unpack the plot,
Love it.
dive deep into the characters, see what readers are saying.
Sounds fun.
Plus, we'll uncover some interesting details about the author, K.L. Hall, and the world of online book publishing.
Okay, so like the whole package.
The whole 9 yards.
So what's the premise, this hook that you were talking about?
Okay, so a woman named Lotus agrees to help Kareem. Yeah, he's a troubled prince of New Orleans.
Prince in New Orleans.
In quotations.
Okay, I get it.
In exchange for the funds to open her dream restaurant.
Ah, so there's the money. Makes sense.
But
here comes the twist.
Big twist. Lotus falls for Kareem's best friend, Psalm.
Oh, a love triangle.
Classic.
Classic love triangle.
And to add fuel to the fire, a surprise pregnancy.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. So we've got money, love triangle, and now a baby.
Throws everything into turmoil.
That's a lot.
It is. Now, what I find interesting is the book being described as both an urban thriller and a steamy novella.
Interesting combo. What does that even mean?
Right, like what kind of tone are we talking here? What direction is the plot going to take?
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Well, the urban thriller part, to me, suggests a grittier backdrop.
Okay, gritty backdrop.
Maybe some danger lurking in the shadows.
Ooh, I like that.
But then steamy novella hints at a focus on, passionate relationships.
Oh, so we've got danger and passion.
Oh, yeah, and those complicated emotions.
It's like a recipe for a good story.
Exactly. It's like K.L. Hall is blending suspense and sensuality.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
All set against the backdrop of New Orleans.
Vibrant and unpredictable.
For sure. Okay, so let's get into the characters. Lotus, our protagonist.
All right, tell me about Lotus.
Driven by ambition. Finds herself caught between these two very different men.
Classic love triangle situation.
Totally. But some reviewers, they've described her as, stuck on stupid.
Stuck on stupid.
Yeah, for agreeing to this whole arrangement with Kareem.
Is that fair, though?
It's a tough one.
It is. On one hand, she's taking a risk, right?
Yeah, for financial security.
Pursuing her dream.
Exactly.
But on the other hand, it's easy to question her judgment, right?
Especially as she gets more tangled in the whole love triangle thing.
Right, but stuck on stupid. That's a bit harsh, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of overlooks the difficult circumstances she might be facing.
Exactly. Like, her desire for a better life, we don't know her whole situation.
Right. Like, desperate times call for desperate measures, right?
Exactly. And don't judge a person until you've walked a mile in their shoes.
True. So maybe we need to consider, the context of her situation.
Right, and how her background might be influencing her choices.
Okay, so moving on to the man vying for her affection.
Yeah, let's talk about the guys.
Let's unhave Kareem first. He's described as a troubled prince battling inner demons.
Ooh, troubled prince. Sounds like there's a story there.
Right. Is he genuinely a good guy? Or is there something more to him?
That's the mystery.
Right. The book hints at secrets, a troubled past.
Adds intrigue.
Absolutely. Is he a victim of circumstance? Or is there a darker side to him?
We gotta find out. And what about the best friend, Psalm, right?
Yeah, Psalm, the alluring best friend. Powerful and shrouded in mystery.
I'm already interested in him.
Me too.
What's his deal? What's his motivation?
And what role does he play in all of this?
Yeah, the dynamic between Psalm and Kareem. That's gotta be interesting.
Right. Is it just friendship?
Or is there something more?
Rivalry?
Maybe. Something deeper.
These tangled relationships. The secrets, the steamy romance, the baby.
This is sounding like a potent cocktail of drama.
It really is. And that brings us back to the love triangle.
Ah, yes, the classic love triangle.
A classic trope for sure. But how will it play out in this scenario?
With these characters, yeah.
With all these complex characters. And how does this triangle intersect with, ambition?
Power.
Hidden truths.
Ooh, so many questions.
I know. So little time.
But before we get swept up in the drama, we need to take a step back.
Okay, a step back.
And consider the author herself, K.L. Hall.
All right, let's talk K.L. Hall. We were just talking about the author K.L. Hall. She has quite a diverse body of work.
Really? Tell me more.
Over 36 titles.
Wow, 36.
Spanning various genres.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Everything from urban fiction and romance to paranormal.
Okay, so a wide range.
Even children's books.
Wow, that's impressive.
It's quite a range.
Do you think, like, looking at her other works could give us any insights into In Exchange?
Ooh, that's a great thought.
Maybe there are recurring themes, you know?
Yeah, recurring themes or character archetypes that she explores.
Across her writing, yeah.
That's a great point. Like, are there any threads connecting this story to her other worlds?
Right.
That could help us anticipate those twists and turns?
Yeah, maybe. But before we go down that rabbit hole, I want to touch on something.
Okay, what's that?
This book was self-published.
Oh, right. Through Be Love Publications.
Self-publishing. It's become pretty huge, hasn't it?
It really has. It seems like more and more authors are choosing to go that route.
What do you think is driving that?
Good question. Well, self-publishing gives authors control, right?
Control over what?
Their creative process. Like, they don't have to wait for a traditional publisher
Oh, I see.
to give them the green light, you know?
Makes sense.
They can write the story they want on their own terms.
So it's about creative freedom.
Yeah, freedom. And maybe a faster path to getting your work out there.
I could see that.
I think so. And for authors writing in genres that might not fit the traditional mold,
Oh, interesting.
or for those whose voices have been, like, historically marginalized,
Self-publishing kind of levels the playing field then.
in a lot of ways, yeah.
But there must be some downsides, right?
Oh, absolutely. Challenges for sure.
Like what?
Self-published authors, they're responsible for everything.
Everything.
Editing, cover design, marketing, distribution, the whole shebang.
That's a lot to handle.
It is, especially for someone new to the publishing world.
So it's a trade-off then. More control, but also more responsibility.
Exactly. But for many authors, it's worth it.
Why?
The independence.
Okay, independence.
And that direct connection with readers.
Right, that direct connection. Which brings us back to those customer reviews.
Oh, yes, the reviews.
We mentioned some strong reactions.
We did. Some loved it, others not so much.
It's always interesting to see those polarized responses.
It is. What were some of the specific points of praise and criticism?
Well, lots of praise for the book's readability.
Okay, readability.
People found it engaging, hard to put down, a real page-turner.
I like that. A page-turner.
They enjoyed the fast-paced plot, the steamy romance, the twists and turns.
So they were hooked on the drama.
Hooked, for sure. But some readers felt it wasn't really a thriller.
Interesting.
They thought the writing wasn't that sophisticated.
Okay, not sophisticated.
And the storyline, a bit chaotic.
I see.
Someone let down by the ending.
So a disconnect between those wanting a pure thriller.
And those who were into the romance and suspense blend.
Makes sense.
Genre expectations play a huge role in how we perceive a story.
Totally. Like, if you're expecting a heart-pounding thriller and you get a lot of romance.
You might feel a little misled.
Exactly. Okay, let's circle back to Lotus.
Lois and those controversial choices.
Right. And that phrase, stuck on stupid.
Harsh, but I get where they're coming from.
I do too. But we need to consider her situation.
Her full situation.
She wants a better life.
Right, a better life.
To open her own restaurant, to be financially secure.
To escape whatever circumstances she's in.
Powerful motivators.
They are. And it is urban fiction, right?
It is.
Often explores those harsh realities of urban life.
Exactly. Poverty, crime, social injustice.
Characters in those stories often face limited choices.
They do.
They have to make tough decisions.
Sometimes just to survive.
So maybe Lotus's choices, while risky,
and maybe morally questionable,
reflect a certain desperation
and a need to break free.
It's a valid interpretation, something to consider when evaluating her actions.
And it's a novella, right?
In Exchange is a
novella, a shorter, more focused narrative. Could that format influence how those choices are portrayed?
That's an interesting point. The novella's length might limit the author's ability
to fully flesh out the nuances of Lotus's situation.
Yeah, and explore the complexities of her decisions.
Right. Maybe some readers feel like her motivations are glossed over.
Or her choices seem too impulsive.
But then again, the novella format could also heighten the intensity.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like focusing on the immediate consequences of those choices.
And creating a more fast-paced experience.
More emotionally charged.
It's all about how the author utilizes the format.
Okay, let's dive back into that love triangle. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how it's portrayed.
Well, the power dynamic immediately stands out to me.
The power dynamic?
Lotus is in a vulnerable position.
Vulnerable how?
Financially and emotionally.
Okay, both financially and emotionally.
She's dependent on both Kareem and Solomon.
In different ways, I guess.
Right, there's an imbalance of power there. Makes it all feel precarious.
Yeah, you're right. And then there's the question of authenticity.
Authenticity.
Are Kareem and Solomon genuinely interested in Lotus?
Good question.
Or are they drawn to her because of what she represents?
What do you mean?
Like a way out for Kareem, a challenge for Solomon, maybe.
Ooh, I see. So are they really in love with her, or are they using her?
Right. It makes me wonder if it's even a true love triangle.
Or more about manipulation and control.
Exactly. Adds another layer of complexity to the story. We've been talking about this love triangle, and yeah, lots of questions. It's a recipe for drama for sure. But in the book's description, it keeps mentioning hidden truths and explosive revelations.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What do you think that means?
Well, it definitely sounds like there's more to this story than we know right now. Like we know Kareem has inner demons and he's hiding his past, but
Yeah.
what could those hidden truths be? His family?
Maybe.
Business dealings? Even something criminal, maybe.
Ooh, that would be a twist. And what about Psalm?
Yeah. What's he hiding?
What secrets is he holding on to?
It seems like everyone's got something to hide in this book.
Doesn't it? I wonder how those secrets are going to come out and how it's going to impact everyone.
Yeah, and their relationships, right?
Will it, shatter everything, or could it lead to redemption?
Good question. It's like a ticking time bomb waiting to go off.
Oh, I like that. Ticking time bomb. And maybe those explosions will be emotional, maybe even dangerous.
Right. Especially with the whole urban thriller element.
Exactly. The urban setting, it can be dangerous, unpredictable. I wonder how Cale Hall uses that backdrop.
To heighten the tension, yeah.
Speaking of tension, we didn't talk much about the writing style.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Some people praised the readability, but others found it less than thrilling.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, from what we've seen, Cale Hall seems to use a fast-paced, dialogue-driven style.
Okay, so fast-paced and lots of dialogue.
Which can be engaging, especially for a novella. Keeps the story moving,
Yeah, you get right into the characters' interactions.
But could that fast pace be contributing to the chaos some reviewers mentioned?
Oh, you think so? Like maybe the story moves so fast.
Yeah.
They don't have time to process everything.
The emotional weight of the events or the characters' motivations.
Right. So it's a balance, keeping that momentum, but also allowing space for,
Reflect.
deeper character development.
It's a challenge, especially with a shorter format like a novella.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's why we're seeing such a range of reactions from readers.
Yeah, maybe. Some people love the drama and the fast pace.
And others want more depth.
Yeah, more nuance. It all comes down to individual preferences and expectations. So as we're wrapping up this deep dive into In Exchange,
Yeah.
I keep thinking, if you were in Lotus's shoes, would you take that deal?
Ooh, that's a good one. Knowing the risks, the heartbreak, the moral compromises, would you do it?
It's a tough question, right? It makes you think about your own values, your ambitions.
What you do to achieve your dreams.
That's the power of the story, I think. It challenges us to think about our own choices and the consequences, the good and the bad.
It's a reminder that life is full of complex choices.
It is.
And sometimes those choices lead us down unexpected paths.
Filled with passion, intrigue, and maybe even a little danger.
And maybe those paths, as unpredictable as they are, lead us to where we're meant to be.
Maybe. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into In Exchange, an urban thriller.
We hope you enjoyed it and that it left you with some things to think about.